Welcome to All Homesteading. I am coming to you from my greenhouse again. So let's get straight into it. I have had a busy month, some finished objects for you, a couple of finished objects. I also have some whips, I think 2 whips, and some knitting plans. So let's get into the first finished object, which is what I am wearing today. So in my first episode, my last episode, I showed you this top, which is the Capulet blouse by Fable Knitwear. As you can see, I haven't finished it. I knitted it last year and I had planned to knit it this summer, re-knit it, because I talked about the problems in my last episode. It was just a bit too short and too tight around the bust. Now I've re-knitted it again so let's have a look at the yarn that I used. So I have knitted it from a mohair cotton blend, which is by Concept, which the brand is Katia, a Spanish brand. So it's 70% cotton and 30% mohair is just what it says. So let's talk a little bit about this now. So what I did was, well, we'll talk about that later, but this pattern, I was attracted to this pattern because it is quite feminine, and sometimes, you know, I alternate between feminine wear and sort of rough and ready boyish wear. So I wanted to knit myself a feminine flirty top. So I won't stand up. I will put in some footage of me wearing it with how I plan to style it. So I've got it with jeans, with combats, with a skirt. These are the different ways that I plan to style the item, but I'm really pleased with it. The only problem that I have with it is that I ran out of yarn. So I was playing yarn chicken right until the very end. So I don't know if you can see that, but you can see where I had to add another batch of yarn, which with a different dye lot. What are you gonna do? I mean, I enjoy the top anyway, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame that on a re-knit I have this kind of issue, but you know, it is what it is. I thought I had 7 balls, and this is what I have left from 7 balls from knitting, if I remember correctly, size 2. Now, I thought I did have enough because let's get this right. Single strand, and I did not achieve gauge, so I thought, okay, and I didn't like the material that it gave, so I added a second strand, so I held it double, and I achieved gauge in this way. Now I would have had enough yarn because originally I had 6 balls of yarn to make this top, but I had to order one more skein, annoyingly, because I had to adjust the length. So for example, this top, should have said it in the last episode, which I forgot to, this top is knit up. The pattern calls for it to be knit up bottom up. So you have, like, let's say 3 sections for the body. So you have the ribbing for the waistband, then you have the bodice, which is like a simple cable, and then you have the bust area for stockinette. So what I ended up doing, because I think with Fable Knitwear, the problem for me is that the bodies tend to come up quite short. So I always have to add an extra few centimeters just to accommodate the length. So this one, I'm happy with the length for this, okay? But this meant that for every section, which I didn't do here, for every section of the top, I actually had to add, I think I added between, for every section, between 5 to 10 extra centimeters for what the pattern called for, because I think her designs are quite vintage and designed to be worn with high lengthed skirts and trousers, which is fine. Sometimes I'll wear those, but I also like to be properly covered in the midsection. So yes, I will also insert, which is my favourite look with this top, which is some woolen sort of land girl type trousers here. Oh, I also have this flower in my hair. My rose plant has started to bloom, so I thought, okay, this beautiful flower, so I just cut it off and thought I would wear it. I think it looks nice with my top. Right, let's get on to finished object number 2. I showed this as a whip in my first episode, which is the Sophie scarf, which I have gifted as a birthday present. So last weekend we had a little, afternoon tea birthday gathering, and I was happy to gift the Sophie scarf, in which I knit in one of the recommended yarns, which was the Knitting for Olive cashmere, compatible cashmere. So I used one skein of that knit together with did I knit it with mohair. So in the greenhouse today I have a nice coffee, which is very nice, and I have my bottle of water. So yeah, I gifted the scarf. I knitted size 1, or yeah, the first option for the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit. I'm actually loving mine because I wear it constantly. Not wearing it today, obviously, but I wear it all the time because, especially in transitional periods, so spring, autumn, it's great because I don't often, even though I'm wearing like this blouse with a sweetheart neckline, I often have this part of my body covered with scarf or sweater or whatever. Obviously sometimes it's nice to show a little bit of skin, but yeah, to have to protect your neck. Yes, with a scarf is good. I actually like gift knitting. I know there is like this debate of, knitting things for people who are knit worthy and the like. My stance on it is that I enjoy knitting for other people. I enjoy thinking about them wearing it, enjoying the item, but obviously there are some people who don't really appreciate the time and effort it takes to knit something and gift it. I actually met with a family member who told me that the socks that I gifted them, really nice sock yarn, hand-dyed sock yarn, had been mauled by her dog. Yes, obviously once you gift something, it's like any other gifting. Once you gift it, it's in their hands. You gift gladly, you gift with an open heart. But yeah, And then in the same breath, that person asked for something else to be knitted for them. So I don't know. I would love to knit them that, but at the same time, I also think, you know, I don't want to knit something and have it mauled by their dog again. Take better care of your stuff. But anyway, let's get on to WIP number 1. So, I had a bit of a journey already with this WIP, with this top. Now, it's called the Rib Lace Raglan by James N. Watts. Now, this was intended to be a spring, like another transitional / summer item. I like the pictures. So on Etsy, the sample that the model is wearing looks, you know, really nice and navy blue. So I decided to knit this. There is a colour, it's almost like that colour there of item. So I have like 2 linen trousers in that terracotta red type of colour. I tend to be drawn to it, but like unconsciously drawn to it. So if, for example, somebody asks me, what's your favourite colour? That's not the colour that I would think of. Yeah, I would more likely to say green, you know? But for some reason, if I'm presented with a range of colours, something in a range of colours, I am automatically drawn to this terracotta earthenware type of colour, right? So I decided to knit this garment and shop my stash because, you know, May, I don't want to spend a lot of money on new yarn. Why? Because I've just decluttered my stash and I've seen what I have. So I thought, hey, shop your stash. So I looked in my stash and I have a lot of wool yarn, mohair yarn in this colour. I don't have a plan for it. So I thought, okay, hey, let's knit the Raglan lace sweater by James N. Watts in this yarn. So I decided, so I don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of, this is what I'm doing, boom, jump in. So I decided to hold, bear with me, the yarn. Okay, sorry, I had to just remember what the yarn was. So I had a lot of skeins of Sansgarn mohair in this colour, and Holst Super Soft. That's it, Holst Super Soft. So I thought, okay, I am going to knit, God knows why, this shirt, this top in the Holst Super Soft held double plus the mohair, right? A bit extra because I was feeling extra that day, right? So I cast it on and then I'm knitting and I'm like, hey, this fabric, this material that it's making looks familiar. And then I realized that the color, the way the material is knitting up was very similar to a very, very old jumper that I have already. Now, this jumper, I mean, it has lasted, I bought it 10 years ago or something from, I don't know, like H&M or somewhere like that. It was H&M because the label says. I bought it there and I wear it, I get a lot of wear out of it. It's like an acrylic cable knit jumper that is in this colour. I will insert pictures here and here and here and here of me wearing that jumper. So I'm thinking, I don't really want to knit a sweater that is exactly the same as a sweater I wear often from the high street. Yeah, we're not about that life. So I thought, okay, what we'll do is abandon this color, continue knitting, abandon this color, just change the color. No one will know. So I decided to choose, I had a woolly knit, British knit cone in mustard. This color and mustard, right? So I decided to add, start knitting in mustard. Girl, no. There were a load of mistakes as well. I'm not confident knitting lace. I think I'm a stockinette girl, right? I'm sorry to say, yeah, I love the craft of knitting, but stockinette is my jam. The reason being is that knitting is my activity to decompress, and I'm usually knitting in front of a movie or reading. So I need something that I don't need stitch repeats, like even if it's like, I don't know, 2 row stitch repeats or whatever. Like I get confused very easily. So stockinette is, sorry, lace. Maybe I just need to become more accustomed to lace because it does look beautiful and I enjoy it. But anyway, back to the point. So I just looked at it one day, and it also, this is more down to the pattern. It's constructed with an additional I-cord neckline that you add later, and I couldn't envisage it looking very flattering on me. Also, as well as the I-cord neckline, there was no there's no shaping, neck shaping or short rows or anything like that. So I decided to unravel it. I frogged it, yeah, and luckily, so separating mohair from 2 strands of wool, it was fun times, but we managed to do it with very minimal wastage. My cat also enjoyed that activity, so that's done, and the wool is now safely back in my wool pantry for a more worthy project. And I started to re-knit it. So I stuck with the mustard, but I am holding it just with 1 strand of the British wool cone and 1 strand of Knitting for Olive dark mustard. So I really like the way this is knitting up, and it is more appropriate for the pattern, because the previous incarnation of this was stiff and very thick, and it was just a no go. But this is much better, right? And I have added a ribbed 1x1 rib neckline, because I'm happy with that, because yeah, I don't really want a I-cord edging neckline. So yeah, so I'm happy with that. However, I got a little bit bored with the ribbing, the lace ribbing, so I am just going to continue in stockinette. Okay, update on progress. This is WIP number 2 that you saw in my first episode. I've gotten a little bit, I've gotten past the heel at least, and this is just the first sock still. So yeah, it's knit in Regia sock yarn in the colorway Tutti Frutti. So this is just a project that I just knit, I take out with me, and I knit, when I'm bored or what have you. The other day I actually went to the dentist. I was in the waiting room knitting on this sock. A gentleman walked past me, and he was, when you're knitting, maybe you look approachable, or I don't know. Excuse me. Yeah, you just look approachable, or what have you. And he walked out. I think he was married to one of the dentists or assistants, no idea. But he was quite affable, and he was just about to open the door to leave, and he said something like, I expect 3 inches on that by the time I get back. And at first I was like, and then I was like, sir. And then I wanted to add, same here or something, but obviously he had left. He ended up being really nice in the end, because he did come back and we had a chat and stuff. But sometimes people just want to say stuff, right? Okay, so that's that. The second frog. Big fail. But I'll let past me take it away. Hello, it's me from the past. This is my sorry attempt at the sorrel sweater. Yeah, I don't know, something went wrong back here. For some reason, it's gotten smaller, and I need to work out what I need to do to correct it. So this has to be frogged back. I don't want to do it, but yeah, we need to start again. Muy mal. So the sorrel sweater is something that I saw a while back, and I added it to like one of my, I want to knit this, because I really like that yoke, the dip stitched yoke. So I had this idea that I would use, again, shopping my stash, so using what I had. So I decided to use a sock yarn, hand-dyed sock yarn that I bought at Yarn Festival last year. So I thought, oh, I have enough for that. And on the sample pictures and the tester pictures, some people have used, variegated. I think it's a really nice way to use variegated yarn. So I thought, okay, let's use this sort of hand-dyed yarn together with some mohair that I've had in my stash for ages. That particular yarn and the mohair, because they are not similar colors and really contrasting colors, didn't really like the material that it was giving, and pattern. So you start off with a ribbed neckline, and then you start immediately with the dip stitches, right? So I'm thinking I'm doing the dip stitches correctly, and I'm reading the pattern, but somewhere along the lines I just went wrong, because it was telling me to what I thought was decrease, and I need to revisit that, but it's still really triggering, it's still really painful. So I'm giving it some space before, and maybe I'll find, I'll keep an eye out for some yarn that I could use, because I think you have to be quite skillful with the yarn that you choose, because you've got these really nice dip stitches, and then in the pattern pictures there are some really nice variations of the pattern. Some are like, you've got color gradients, you've got ombre, So it's you can make it really nice, and I have some ideas of how I would like to knit one up, but it's a sorrel sweater currently is eluding me. I even searched on YouTube for any creators who had knitted the pattern, and there are. And I found this video of this lady who's saying that she knitted like 2 or 3 versions of the sorrel sweater. I had to switch it off because I was not trying to hear it. Because of my failure, I was not trying to hear successes. But I will revisit that once I can get my head around what the pattern needs me to do. So I had to unravel that. No, I haven't actually unraveled it, so I could have actually showed you, but past self has done a good enough job to show you my mess, you know, the mess that I made. But it's a really nice shirt, a really nice pattern. I really want to knit it up, but I don't really understand what I'm doing wrong. But I will conquer it one day. Okay, knit plans. So, in spring, and as it's quite warm, I like because I work from home, and a lot of the time I am on video calls. You know, just head and shoulders video calls. So that's why, you know, the Sophie scarf, because it, you know, it's small and it's luxe material. It looks, you know, kind of bougie just in a video call or whatever, while protecting the neck. But I also like wearing sort of, you know, little slimline, well not slimline, like regular fit capped t-shirts that are not like boxy fit. It's quite nice, quite form fitting, without being sort of a fitted t-shirt. So I thought it would be quite nice to knit one up. I have one that I bought from a company called Wrap. Now they have some really nice pieces. I'm not too sure if it's a British brand or an American brand. I'm not sure, but yeah, I bought a couple of really nice t-shirts. They're made from linen bamboo mix, and I wear them all the time. For example, here. Excuse the photo. I actually took it on my oven, the reflection in my oven, but you know, we do what we can. So that's a look that I like. So I would like to knit a similar type of t-shirt. So I'm thinking linen, to knit a sort of fitted, form-fitted linen t-shirt. So I have some Blackbird linen. This is by Pearl Soho. It needs to be wound up, but haven't had a chance yet. So I've had this for a while. The reason why I have this Blackbird linen is that because I made the dumpling bag a while back, which is a free pattern on online on Pearl Soho. It's a Pearl Soho pattern, and you have one handle longer than the other, so you're actually meant to hold it like this, but I just hold it like that. But I really like this bag because it's not sitting right, but I really like it. I use it all the time, so yeah. So, and I like the way this pattern knits up. So the drape, I can imagine this as a t-shirt, which I think will be really nice. See what I mean about this colour? I'm just always drawn to this bloody terracotta. I don't know what it is, but anyway. So yeah, so I would like to knit, not in this colour, God's sake. I would like to knit a linen t-shirt. So I'm thinking with this, Or, so I'm looking for a pattern. So I quite like, there is a pattern called, right, let me remember. Yes, so I've actually seen two patterns, but only one I remember the name of. So one is called the Crescendo Tee, which is by the Knit Pearl Girl. So I've seen that I think would make a really nice linen t-shirt. It's got like a yoky sort of knit over type yoke. It just looks like leaves or something like that. It's quite pretty. So I think that would be nice in linen. I've also seen a kind of boxy t-shirt, just a plain but classic looking t-shirt by, I can't remember, I think I've seen it on Etsy. I think I'm thinking Jolie or something, J'adore or something like that. Some kind of Frenchy sounding name of the pattern, but I will insert the information because I know I have it somewhere inside. So I'll insert that. Yeah, so I am thinking of knitting, or if you remember what I was wearing in my first episode, another green knitted top, but that was the Vitra sweater. So that could be nice, using this color, this neutral color as the Latvian braid on the yoke, and sort of a bright pink or red. I don't really wear red. Yes, I'm wearing a red rose, but I don't really wear red. But a nice contrast color. That would, not green. That would be quite nice as a t-shirt as well. Maybe next episode I will have some development on that. I think I might just... Ooh, this looks good. Oh, that is a good strawberry. Who grew that? Anyway, thanks for watching. I enjoy doing these and I enjoy talking about knitting. Let me know if you enjoy me rabbiting on. I probably will continue to do it at least once, well, not at least, probably once a month, because I can't anymore. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Cheers! Like and subscribe.